I'm just going to have a glass of Prosecco while I do this, because why not? I'm going to go in with my Nivea Post Shave Balm. This is like an oldie but a goodie, and I haven't used this in so long because I have found a new primer, but I decided to go back and try it because sometimes when you go back to a product you're like, oh, I love it. And I'm going to go mix that with my Cover FX Custom Enhancing Drops in the shade Celestial. So the Nivea Post Shave Balm will give me a nice tack to keep my foundation to my face and all my products, and the Enhancing Drops will give a nice glow. So currently I look like a bit of a tin man and I'm quite glowy, but I'm going to just buff that in with a brush, and I'm then going to buff it in with further into my skin with a beauty blender. It's not an actual beauty blender, it's a Fenty beauty sponge, but I absolutely swear by this. It's probably the best one I've ever had. It comes very, very close to the Real Technique sponge. I just find it really amazing. So I'm going to go in and do my eyes first today, just because of the fallout from the product that I might have. So I'm going to go in with my Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer it's a new shade, it's Extra Fair Zero. And I'm going to buff that in with a foundation brush first, just to, if I go first in with a sponge, it tends to kind of take a lot of the product off. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go in the brush first, and then I will go in and buff with a beauty blender. Now I'm going to go in and do my brows. I much prefer to do my brows when my skin is nice and dewy, because I do find, especially with like a brow kind of wax, it's much easier to glide. Now this product does dry up a little bit. It's the Benefica Brow. I use the shade 2. And just dry up a little bit, so I do go in with a little bit of Duraline. The Inglot one, I don't pump it in, I just whatever is kind of like dripping off the stick, let it in and then mix that round. And I am just going to start from about a quarter in from the brow. That's how I usually do my brows, and then I extend it out underneath right to the tail, go up above. I can then shape out with my finger kind of how pointy and how long I want my tail, and then I go back through and fill in the brow, and then whatever's left on the brush, I don't get any more product, whatever's left I just go through the front of my brow, just to kind of make it look a bit more natural rather than loads of heavy product at the very, very front. I never go for a very bold brow. I tend to go very much for a natural brow. And there I am with my Prosecco again, making sure my skin is still tacky. I'm going to go in now with my Catrice Brow Gel. It's in like a light brown shade. I have this ages, and I don't have very wild brows, but I do find it does kind of tint my eyelash, or my eyebrows I should say, a little bit, and it does help a lot. So I am going to go in now to set my eyes with the Revolution Bacon Finish Baking Powder in Ghost Finish. So it's the white powder, and this is amazing. It's really nice and brightening. I'm going to go in now with my Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. As you can see, it's quite dirty from overuse, and I'm going to go in with the yellowy shade, kind of like a yellowy orangey shade. It kind of reminds me of the shade, I think it's a Makeup Geek shade, Chickadee, very much like that. And I'm going to blend this into my eye as a transition colour. It's very off from what the colours I'm going to be using, but it will help to really blend the colours, and I think this is the best kind of colour that could go with it to help blend rather than any kind of bold stated colours. I am mad for my Prosecco today. I'm now going to go in with the kind of aqua shade that's in this palette towards the bottom of the palette, and I'm going to buff this into the crease. The reason for I wanted more of a green rather than a blue in the crease, because I do have blue eyes and I didn't want blue in my eyes for this look. So mixing it with the yellow and the kind of aqua colour gave me kind of a greeny colour, which is kind of what I wanted. I wanted quite a dark crease because I'm going to have quite a bright eye lid. So I'm going to buff that in. These colours, you can, like, they're very pigmented and they go in the right way. I've gone in with like a little bit of product and build, because I wasn't really sure how much I wanted on my eyes, so I like to build. So I'm just kind of building the colours in bit by bit. Now going back in with a little bit more of that kind of yellowy shade from the palette on the original buffing brush, and I'm just going to buff out the edges. Reason why I'm going in with more products is because that kind of aqua colour is so strong. I just need to go over a little bit to tame it down and just buff out the edges. I'm now going to go in with Lethal from my Naked Ultimate Basics palette. It's like the purpley shade, just on the outer corner and kind of into the crease, just to kind of define the crease a little bit more and just kind of darken up that outer corner for what we're going to have on the lid. And I'm going to go back in then with the green colour, no extra on the brush, just whatever's left in the brush, and buff that out. while. And just, this is kind of, because the colours are so different from each other, it's very much kind of constantly going in, buffing, back in, buffing, back in, buffing. So like, it looks like I'm doing it really quick here. It does take time. I wasn't going to bore you and show you like me doing it like the whole way, but it is constant just work of going back and forth and back and forth. Now I'm going to go in with a flat brush, and I'm going to go in with that kind of aqua-y glitter colour. Now I did carve out my crease with concealer, but I had to get really close to my mirror, so I didn't film that part. And I'm just going to pack that on on the inner corner. So I'm going from my inner corner to about halfway over my eyelid, and I'm just packing that on over the concealer. I didn't set the concealer, I'm just packing this on top just for as a nice sticky base for it. Now I'm going to go in with, on just the other side of the brush, I'm going to go in with the kind of glittery purpley colour. I'm not mad on purples, but I just thought this colour would really complement it, and my niece loved it, so I was like, you know what, I better use it. And I'm just going on the other side, so from the like halfway through my lid over to the outer corner, just buffing that in. I'm now just going back over the crease, just making sure that, you know, there's no glitter kind of gone up on top, just making sure everything's quite nice and blended. And I'm going to go back in with the original brush just to make sure everything is nice and seamless, because these are very harsh colours putting together. You just want to make sure you're constantly blending. I'm now just going to get a kind of flat, kind of fluffy brush, and I'm just going in over the two colours just to kind of blend them just together a little bit. So then, like, there is going to be an obvious transition, but just to make it a little bit better. I did go in there with eyeliner, so it was my Kiko, it was a limited edition purple eyeliner, and I did go in with mascara. I'm now going in with foundation. This is a Wycon foundation. This is an Italian brand, and it's their liquid velvet foundation in the shade 2. I love this foundation. It's extremely dewy, but it is very oily. That's the only thing. Great for, I'd say, people with dry skin, and even when you set it with a powder, it does still have a very dewy effect off it, which is I love. I wouldn't wear it during the day because it does tend to kind of sits on top of your skin, and you could rub it off very easy. So I kind of only wear it on nights out. So I'm just blending that in first with a foundation brush, just to get the best coverage possible from it, because I do find that every foundation gives its best coverage from a brush first, and then going over with a beauty blender to kind of make sure there's no excess on top. So going in with the beauty blender there, I'm just going to blend that all into my skin. Just to get the excess oil off my skin. I'm then going to go back in with the concealer that I've used earlier on my lids, and it's just the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer in the shade Extra Fair Zero. So I'm going to go under my eyes, I'm going to go on my chin, I'm going to go around my mouth, because I tend to be very dark around there, and I'm going to go down the bridge of my nose, and I'm also going to go up my forehead. I'm mad for this, like I just love lightening my face, contouring, and not even contouring so much, I just love lightening my face. I much prefer that to contouring. I'm going to blend that out with a beauty blender. So a lesson I learned from the amazing Desi Perkins, if you do not follow her already, you are crazy. I will leave the link to her channel down below. She is amazing, and she taught me that, you know, every kind of liquidy, foundation-y type of product and concealer and all tend to dry very quickly. So go to the areas that you don't want lines in. So your head is the last thing you want a line on, then under your eyes, chin, around your mouth, but leave your nose to last, because you do want that slight line in your nose to give the effect of like a long, thin, narrow nose. So she's just my hero, I love her. And I'm going to slightly just go under my eyes with that Revolution powder, just for when I'm doing my lash line with the shadows. And just whatever excess is on the brush, I'm just going to go over my face, because I don't want to fully set this. I want it to be extra dewy as possible. I'm now going in with my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm going in with the first two kind of bronzy shades, and I'm just going to warm up my face and go down the sides of my nose, just to kind of warm up my face and give it effect of a narrower face. And then I'm going to go back in with the eyes, and I'm going to go in with that aqua colour again on a flat brush, and I'm just going to buff that into my lower lash line. I didn't want anything too harsh in the lower lash line, nothing too dark. I felt the purple would be a little bit too dark, and I thought maybe the kind of aqua colour would be the best kind of colour to go in with. I did also go in with a little bit of black on my waterline, and then these are the finished eyes, and I did pop on lashes as well. I'm going to go in with my Hoola bronzer. This is my mini Hoola. I'm just going to slightly sculpt out my face. I get really nervous sculpting. Like, I don't mind bronze and contour, and kind of scares me a little bit because I always feel like I look a little bit muddly and like this is too much, and I don't like it to be like really obvious the way it is now. There I go back in with my Prosecco, and I'm going to go back in with the brush that I originally used just to kind of buff out the contour. And I'm looking flawless. Now I'm going to go in with the absolute babe of my life. This is the PS Glow palette. Oh my god, I love it. Like, I've never been into like cheapy makeup, but this is unreal. So I'm going in with the shade Desert and Glimmer, and I'm going to just put the usual areas like my cheekbones, my head, down the bridge of my nose as well, my cupid's bow, my chin. I do my forehead, just anywhere really that I can. I just love using it. A little bit on my under my brows as well when I can, and I just love dusting this stuff everywhere. Like, just look at that. So I'm going to go in with just a little spongy brush that you kind of remember the ones you got as kids. I have one of them. I'm going to go in with the shade Desert and just put that in on my inner corners. And I'm going to just buff out the concealer with my powder, or not the concealer, my highlight with my powder brush, just because I like it to look a little bit seamless. Now for lips. I decided to go really bold today, which I don't usually do. So I'm going in with a new look Pure Colour lip pencil. It's a lip liner pencil, and this is in the shade, I'm pretty sure it's in the shade Aubergine. And this is amazing. Like, if you haven't got your hands on the new look lipsticks and lip liners, like, where have you been living your whole life? Like, seriously, they are amazing. And then to complement that, I'm going in with the new look lipstick in the shade Aubergine, and it's a really nice purpley colour, very aubergine I must say. And I'm going to put that on my lips. This was like an old fave of mine. Like, anytime I was going on a night out with the girls, this is the lipstick I wore. I just thought I rocked purple lipstick. I haven't worn it in so long, and when I was doing this look I was like, oh my god, this would be amazing. I just love it, and it's so creamy. It's so easy to apply. Like, you don't even need lip liner to apply it. I just like to have a guide on my lips, but oh my god, new look lipsticks are just life. Seriously, guys. And that is the finished look. I really hope you enjoyed, guys, and I shall see you in my next video.